This reminds me of like Janet Jackson. Rhythm Nation. We are the people of Rhythm Nation. I don't even know if that's the song, but
I think it's We Are a Part of the Rhythm Nation.
we are a part of the Rhythm Nation.
Man, I haven't listened to Janet in a while.
Nip
I
slip.
think we're supposed to. I think we're supposed to be introducing ourselves.
Okay. Ready? Hi guys, welcome to Season Crazy. We are your hosts. My name is Summer.
And I'm Brandy.
And we have left sanity behind a long time ago.
And we're never getting it back.
Not ever. So, regardless if you are towing the line or camping in left field, we're here for you, babe.
Yep.
And today is Friday. So you know what that means. It's VTT. It's Friday, Friday, Friday. You got that? That's how I feel right now. Okay, we switched things up a little bit. We usually do 3 shows every Tuesday, and we do our recordings and then our live. No. This time we decided to see how crazy we could be. We did a show, our live, and now VTT. So whatever you get.
Yeah.
Bless ya. Bless ya. Okay. Anyway, let's just jump out. I like how she's
Yeah, I
wearing
meant
her
to
shirt.
put it on before
wearing
the
it.
show. But I forgot. So
that's life.
Here we are. It's Friday.
Life. But we did remember, only because of our technical support, to put up our Veteran Trash Talk thing on our green screen. So
yeah.
we did that. Not really, but it was done.
Right. And it looks good. I like their logo.
Does, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking back here.
Yeah, I was like, wait, it's a green
screen.
This? We can't see nothing.
It's a sheet. Yeah. But I'm looking as if I can, like weathermen.
Yeah.
They're like, and then it's going to be like, the storm is going to be coming down.
Yeah. I feel like they have to like practice that.
They do.
Yeah.
They're like, and this is Oklahoma. No, idiot. That's Texas. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys, big shout out to our sponsor, Rafa 180. Check out Rafa 180 at rapha180.com. And when you pay and use the coupon code Season Crazy, you get 15% off. Anything to help you with sleep, pain, anxiety, stress, depression, cramping, high blood pressure, bad exes, narcissists. No, I'm just kidding. You get 15% off, and anything over $85 gets you free shipping. So kind of crazy. Not the right crazy, the wrong crazy to not go over and check it out. At least take a gander, okay?
Right.
Anyway, you can also, let's just get it out of the way. We're awesome. We're on all the platforms because Brandy has dropped it like it's hot and got us on every platform, almost, if not. For your listening pleasure, if you cannot watch us on YouTube, you can head over to podcasts such as Spotify, Google, Apple. What are the other ones?
Overcast.
Yeah, that one.
And I think there might be some more. And I'm working on getting the rest of them. I'm learning all of this stuff.
It's all the things. We don't know. But subscribe, we need 100 of you to at least do it. And then, of course, we want to get up to 1 million because why not? Right? You're awesome. We're awesome. We want to hang out. Check us out on Wednesdays on our YouTube channel. Fridays right here on VTT. And then, of course, Tuesdays VRS Live, 8 p.m. Central Time because we're in Oklahoma and I feel like I need to stay Central Time.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So now we can jump into the show. You could fast forward until you get to this part.
Right.
And then you'd be into the good stuff.
Right.
Like holding your fork, waiting for the dessert.
Can I have some more?
Please. Anyway, I am so excited. Wednesday we talked a little bit about mental health. I was still in my Friends jammies because, mental health and self-care. And I don't want to get dressed. She looks good enough for the both of us.
Yeah, I was just dressing up. I don't.
For the both of us. She was like, Summer probably will brush her teeth. And I doubt she'll comb her hair. So I better wear a cute shirt.
No, I've been trying to
She looks
feel
lovely. She looks beautiful.
cute.
Actually, when she showed up, I was like, yeah, I don't have to get dressed.
Next week I will
No,
come
where?
disheveled.
Oh my gosh. If you look disheveled, I'll feel like obligated to get dressed. One of us has got to look put together.
Okay, I mean,
That's how it
I don't
works.
know how long I can keep this up though.
So, today we are going to talk about 5 love languages. And I think that they're important just if you're in any relationship with a friend or romantic relationship with anyone. Here's why. I've been with my husband for 22 years and I'm still trying to figure out that fool's language. All right. And I'm sure sometimes he feels the same way, but this is important. I like this book. It's called The 5 Love Languages. I'll link it down below. I try to give it out as a gift. It has a lot of Christian points of views, but even if you're not, psychologically, it just has some great advice in it.
Yeah.
So the 5 love languages typically are, you can add to this list, but the main 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's important to not only realize what are your 5 love languages, but then also what are your partner's 5 love languages, because the way that you feel love may not be the way that they feel love. And I think that that's where the disconnect happens and people get frustrated.
Yeah, like they're like, I'm showing you I love you, but it's the way that they would want to receive love.
Mm-hmm.
I am a touchy kind of person and communication, like I value actual quality time and touching. But someone else may not like to be touched all the time, and they may not like to talk. Men are generally not as talkative as women or whatever. So I mean, I had to learn that lesson over the years that people receive love differently.
Yeah, because I think sometimes, like, if the way that we want to be loved, that's the way that's easiest for us to show love, and then we get frustrated when we have a disconnect with our partner.
Right.
The reason I'm bringing this up is because the divorce rate right now is insane. Right. And you're saying, well, okay, I'm not married. But if you're in a committed relationship, you are headed to marriage, or you want this relationship to last, it's disheartening to see how many people enter into marriage and then divorce. It's above 50%. So I think that that's the number that we keep throwing out, regardless if you're Christian or not. 50% is crazy on both sides, and it's actually higher. Right. So in the veteran community, it's even higher than that. And those of us that are in a relationship with a veteran or are veterans ourselves, we can kind of nod our head and say, yeah, we can understand why, if you're being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, that's understandable. So I think it's important. Like, I love having these fun episodes, but when Brandy and I were talking about, well, what do we want to go and talk about today? I thought, hey, let's take a minute and kind of talk about some important topics today. Part of the series that we've been talking about the last few weeks, which is mental health, self-care, loving yourself, advocating for yourself, is also advocating for your relationship and self-care in a relationship.
Yeah, you do have to take care of your relationship. You can't just take it for granted and expect that things are going to just be great always and magically get better. I mean, or stay the same. You have to always work at it. You can't just give up on your partner.
Right. And I think some of the things that we hear from any amount of time that you're with somebody is that, well, I've changed. I'm just not the same person. I always want to yell at the person and say, duh. I wasn't the same person at 26 as I was at 16 and I'm not at 36 as I was at 26, and I sure don't expect to be the same person at 56 as 46. That's the point, is you change.
Right. Well, yeah, you hopefully grow. Some people
Yeah.
don't grow. That's a problem when
Yeah.
someone is growing and they're growing for the better because they're getting older and more mature, and then that the other person's growth is stunted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Or
mean,
needs a little help.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like sometimes the other one has to pick the other one up. Like, oh, I'm not doing so well right now. Let me carry your load. Let's learn how to get through this. But they have to try also. You can't just
Right, right. And I think that the cool thing is to understand that you're both supposed to change and hold space for each other.
Yeah.
And understand that you're going to change and respect that that person's going to change. And maybe the way that they receive love or give love, their love languages also change the older they get or they mature, or their likes change as well. And I think that's important, that we are saying we are going to grow together. Um a lot of people say, well, I've just fallen out of love. Well, if we're being honest with each other, love is an action, it's a choice. I may seem cynical with that, but here's what I mean by that. The first few months up to the first year that you're with somebody is less.
Right.
It's that rush of hormones and dopamine in your brain that makes you just feel excited. This is what attracts people to affairs, because they get with somebody new and then all of a sudden they get this rush of hormones. Those hormones
Right.
fade regardless if you're with somebody long term or not, and you're left with the person. At that point, you decide that you're going to choose to love that person.
Right. Yeah, you got to fall in love with the actual person in the first place
Yes.
to be able to hold
Yeah.
space for that, because if you
Yeah.
are just in love with an idea for
Exactly.
20 years, you ain't going to get anywhere.
Right. Right. And you fill up this love bank. And so if the first part of your relationship is good and then the second part of your relationship is bad, there's got to be a time when it picks up good again, or you're going to deplete all of the good that you had in the first part.
Right.
Just meaning like when they have loved on you. And I say this because in a veteran marriage or relationship, we have times where we're investing and dropping all of these love dollars, so to speak, in the bank.
Right.
And then we have a lot of times after deployments or through mental health issues or PTSD or traumatic issues, where that's being depleted and withdrawn with no deposits, right? And then we're sitting here feeling like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? I'm not advocating for anybody to stay in a relationship that's being abused. That's not what I'm talking about here. You're going to have to get out, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about a relationship that you're trying to make it work and you're just not feeling like you're connected
Right.
with your spouse, and saying, okay, well, what am I going to do?
Right.
Punch them in the throat, and then, okay, I'm just kidding. What are your love languages, Brandy? You said touch and
I like quality time. Really, I like all. I mean, I'm cool with all 5 of them, but my main thing is quality time. I don't know if that's like the title of one, but quality time. Like, you are showing interest in who I am. You want to do, like, even if we're doing something that you want to do, but like you want me there with you. Like, you want my presence. And I can tell because you're doing these sweet things or you're saying stuff to me. I'm like a show me. Like, okay, you can say, oh, I love you. But if there's no other action behind it, I'm not necessarily going to believe you, because people can say I love you all day long.
Yeah.
And then physical touch. I think I get that from not having as much in my childhood, like a lot of hugs. I mean, I got some hugs and all that, but I didn't.
Right.
So, like, to me, if someone can break my bubble and make me feel comfortable with touching, that's like breaking a barrier for me. So I don't know. I find that really intimate, like, because hugs, people just hugging me, I'm like, but if I am comfortable enough,
right,
for you to hug me, then that makes me feel special. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think for me, the way I receive love is like putting your phone down and focusing on me.
Yes, focus.
Giving me attention. You're not looking at the TV. You're not listening to speak and change the subject. You're actually listening to hear me. Regardless if you are interested in this topic or not, you're saying, I'm going to find 3 questions to ask you about it to engage with you.
Right.
That makes me feel special. And so spending quality time with me is a big thing
Yeah,
for
I
me.
think that's my biggest one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the way that I love to show love, which I understand not everybody feels this way, and so I have to make sure that that person receives it that way. But it's physical touch.
Right.
So, I've always been kind of the hippie before the science really started talking about this, but physical touch is extremely important for the development of children.
Yeah.
It's really important for the immune system. They've done this for a long time with people that were in the hospital. They would touch them to help their bodies to get better.
Yeah.
And you need so many hugs a day for so many seconds, right? You don't want to just hug
Wow.
for a couple seconds. Yeah. And I'll put that down. I believe it's like 8 hugs a day for 20 seconds or more. I could be wrong on that, but I try to hug my kids multiple times a day, touch their cheeks, kiss their heads. I have 7 kids, 6 in the home, so I'm like kissing and hugging all day long.
Right.
But I will say, as much as we have these 5 love languages that show that we love somebody, we can also have a language that makes us withdraw and feel like we are not appreciated.
Oh, yeah. Like the opposite of love language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ignoring what I have,
Mm-hmm.
like glossing over what I have to say, interrupting
Mm-hmm.
me like what I have to say isn't important,
Mm-hmm.
not trying to spend time with me,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, well, we can't hang out unless we go somewhere where we have to spend money, where there's entertainment. Well, can you not just have a conversation with me or play Scrabble or we could watch
Mm-hmm.
TV or cuddle, whatever. Like, I'm, we could sit there next to each other, like, as long
Right.
as we are enjoying each other's company, but acting like, oh, well, that's hurtful. It makes you want to never, like, you're like, fine, if you don't want to be around me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing that psychologists have studied is the language that turns us off actually takes more love points from what is being with deposited.
Yeah.
Because typically when somebody is doing something that is outside of that love language, it's taking a lot from that person.
Mm-hmm.
Things that I dislike is I hate physical compliments because
Yeah.
I feel like
Ugh.
they're very superficial. It's not to say
Yeah.
that I don't like being told by my husband that I'm beautiful. It's just if it's always physical, I don't like it. And if I
Right.
feel objectified by my spouse, I hate it. And I
Yeah.
hate sexual touch. Um, if you ask a person, well, why do you hate sexual touch? You'll be surprised that if you really sit down and talk to them, it could be because of some abuse that happened when they were younger or the way that they
Yeah.
perceive love. If that love is perceived in a sexual way, then they shun it, and I typically tend to shun it. Like I like to be more heard or
Right.
seen. What happens in a lot of veteran relationships, I find, is that we love 2 different ways, and we sometimes don't see the way the other person receives love or what is good for them, and then we don't have a connection when we communicate, and that's that fight, right? And when you are with somebody that is going through some of these things that these veterans are going through, they have that fight or flight constantly going,
Right.
and they don't know how to sit down and have a conversation with you without feeling defensive. A lot of times veterans are involved in risky behavior, especially if they are struggling with PTSD or something of that sort, because they're searching for that high, or they are sabotaging themselves because they feel unworthy. I personally, in my marriage, have experienced through both of these things, and having been together as long as we have and being around as many veteran couples as well as couples just in general, this is across the board.
Right. Wow.
Lack of communication, loving each other differently, refusal to get on the same language,
Yeah.
blaming each other, risky behavior, and then just never depositing that time and love into that love bank and depleting it to where there's nothing left.
Right. Yeah. You definitely have to have give and take. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's for every negative, you need 3 positives or
Yeah.
something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a ratio because negative can impact you pretty
Pretty heavily.
harshly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've been trying to learn, like, I really enjoy learning people's love languages so that I know that whatever I'm doing, because I want them to know, like, I am thinking about you, I love you. And if I'm not sure, I'm like, I'm gonna try and find, like, all the different ways.
Right.
Like five, I'll try all five out on you. Which one do you respond to? I don't know. Because when I do find that, it gives me joy. That's one thing. I don't know. It just makes
You have
me,
joy to love on others.
yeah. I'm like, oh, I made you happy. Yay. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so when I can find that, like, oh, you made me really happy, I'm like, yay. I don't know. It
I
just,
like that.
yeah. I don't know. It gives me a lot more joy. Like, well, and when people truly think of me and they're like, hey, like I was thinking of you and this, and it's,
I like that.
and I don't need expensive things. It's just, hey, I was thinking of you when I saw this, or hey, here's this artwork that whatever. Like, I don't, like, okay, gifts are kind of cool, but I really don't care about gifts if they're just like, oh, well, I bought you this watch or whatever. But if you bought me this $5 like troll doll or something that, reminds me of my childhood, and you bought it for me because you heard a story of me talking about trolls, and you're like, oh, that is just like the sweetest thing to me. But also I get the same amount of joy like giving people what makes them feel special, whether it's a compliment or a gift or a card or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right, I do, and I also feel like that somebody's love language may be gift giving, but we can also overcompensate in the way that we like to give love because we want to avoid the way that somebody else loves to receive that
Right.
because we are uncomfortable with that.
Yeah,
And
like
then,
touch.
yes.
Hmm.
So instead of like reaching out to touch someone because we're uncomfortable, we love gift giving. So all of a sudden we're constantly giving flowers or chocolates or the sweet little $5, gift that reminds us of your childhood story that you told us. So all these gifts are really sweet and thoughtful and wonderful gifts. But that other person is now going, I'm overwhelmed with the gifts that you're giving me. And what I want is this time with you and I
Right.
want that touch. And then they're getting confused and frustrated with each other. So if you're in a relationship, you're agreeing to be uncomfortable sometimes. You're agreeing that, hey, I need to sit down and I need to realize that, yes, I'm giving all of these thoughtful gifts and I'm being thoughtful and I'm trying. Even if my love language is not gift giving, I'm picking this love language and doing it to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
I heard one story years and years ago where it's like it's like telling your spouse that you really want to paint the bathroom and you really want to put new tile in this bathroom. You want to remodel the bathroom. The rest of the house could use some work, but your dream is to remodel the bathroom.
Right.
Well, it makes your spouse uncomfortable to be in the bathroom, but they remodel the kitchen and the dining room and they do all this work everywhere else, but they won't touch the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you're like, thank you. I appreciate this. But that wasn't the goal. I really wanted to remodel this bathroom. And all of a sudden, they're telling you you're ungrateful,
Mm-hmm.
you're unappreciative, you're not seeing everything they do because they've done a lot of work and they've spent a lot of time and money.
Yeah, and you on the other end, as the person who just said, I want this bathroom, you have said it out loud. You have
Mm-hmm.
spoken about it. So you feel unheard because
Mm-hmm.
you're like, well, I told you that this is my dream and you didn't hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why I mean, communication is like so important, but
But
you
hearing
definitely,
each
yeah,
other
you
in the
have to be able to
communication.
hear
Yeah.
each other and say, I need this. And then the other person hear you like, okay, I hear you. I'm going to try. It's going to make me uncomfortable.
Right.
Like me hugging people I barely know. Like I want to do it and be comfortable with it. But like if I've known you for like 30 minutes and we're like, you're a hugger and I'm like, okay, like that's your love language or I mean, that as an example, because generally I'm not trying to give you a love language. I've known you 30 minutes. I'm just the
Okay. I just
hugging.
laugh about the hugging thing
I know
because
you're thinking of like, but
okay,
I hugged you.
so no, no, no. I think this is funny, and we do have to stop here and tell the story because I'm a hugger. I have learned boundaries for people, and I try really hard. I'm not the person to cry in front of and be right next to if you do not want me to touch you. I need to be sitting at least 3 cushions away from you because I'm an empath and I feel your pain and I want to comfort you. Um, so when Brandy and I met as teenagers, I'm a hugger, and
Yeah.
I started hugging her. Okay, girl, see you later.
Yeah,
You know,
this
and
hugging
hug
me.
her. Yeah, and she's like, and I didn't get this at first, right? She was just like, So I go and meet her mom. She did not tell me this for years, by the way. I meet her mom. First thing I do when I leave the house is I hug her mom.
Yeah.
And years later, when Cheryl, her mom, is getting up, I'm like, I'm leaving. Cheryl is already getting up as I'm walking out the door to give me a hug because she knows the hug is coming.
Yeah.
She has known me for several years, and every time Summer leaves, Summer hugs.
Yeah.
And Brandy's hugging me by this point. Cheryl's hugging me by this point, and I leave. Okay, fast forward to realization that Brandy's like, I think it was after your mom passed away. She said, my mom never hugged anybody.
Yeah. We were just not the hugging kind of folks.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean no? She's like, my mom didn't hug me. We didn't grow up hugging.
Yeah.
But she knew you were going to hug her.
Yeah, she just was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna hug, whatever. That's it. I mean, well, I like, okay, you're gonna hug me. All right, cool. You're gonna hug me. Like, it's cool.
I just think it's funny because your aunt's faces all made sense now. Everybody was like, Cheryl's hugging somebody.
Well, I think they're, I mean, yeah, if they know, yeah, I mean, they hug people, but I think they're also kind of like bubble. I think that's where I get it from, the Eli's.
And I'm like,
the Harrises are huggers, the Eli's, they warm up to people, I guess. I mean, they're just not like, hey, stranger, come on up in my bubble. We're just kind of like, see this?
and I hugged
Until I
them
know
all
you.
every time. Everybody was like, Summer's coming. We can either go, but she's not listening to this anymore. It's been years. So everybody's
Yeah,
like,
she's telling
coming
us
around.
not
Everybody was getting ready to hug Summer because that's what was happening. And they hugged me. So I did not realize that her family did not hug. But here I was for decades
to.
hugging her family before it was like, oh, you think, am I going to feel awkward about this at the next time I'm like reunion?
Yeah,
Or
come on in for a big
no,
ol' hug.
I'm not. I'm like, right now, hugging, come here. Yeah, that's awful.
Well, we're used to it by now. I don't know how they felt about the hugging, but I do know that
hugged
they're
me
bubble
back.
people, and I don't know. There was just not much. I got it from somewhere. I'm just saying.
I know. I felt so bad for like half a second. So I was like, oh, now I feel really special because she would get up to hug me. It's probably because she's like, if I don't get up, she's going to hug me longer.
Well, I'm sure she enjoyed it over
I
time,
think
like
so.
a hug, because when you're
She
comfortable
said,
with someone, yeah, you're
yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna get this hug. It's cool, and then you like it.
Plus,
Just
we
takes a
both
minute.
loved you a lot. And
Yeah.
so I think that was our mutual
Yeah,
thing. Plus, your mom was cool, and we went through a lot with the AA and stuff.
yeah,
So it was like camaraderie there.
yeah, and then she called you and Ashley in for the
A meeting.
for my intervention. But it wasn't substance intervention. It was people intervention.
Yeah, I'll let you tell that story because I'll say way too much.
Yeah,
Maybe for another time.
Yeah, maybe another
But
time.
it needed to be there because we all loved her.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for,
I hugged her
always
then
being there.
too.
Yeah. Y'all, your love language is, protection. Part of that, I think, you like to protect people.
I don't like people to be hurt. I like them to feel happy and to be loved on. And
yeah, my protector from day one. Did you just hear what
did.
she said?
I think that it came out of me wanting to be protected as a kid. So I grew up just protecting when I could.
Yeah, I'm like, I've known this girl I just met you 30 minutes ago. I'm pretty sure you're all like,
I'm like, this
did
is
you not
what's
hear?
gonna happen. And just say, hey, he was being mean. He was not being nice. I'm not a mean person. I'm actually very nice. Obviously, did you hear the hug story?
Yeah, she is super sweet. And that's why it always cracks me up when Cincinnati Summer comes out. Because I'm like, I mean, I've known both sides of you so it's not a surprise, but it's kind of funny because, like, as you're an adult, you're more adulty and moderated or whatever. Yeah, and then every once in a while, Cincinnati Summer will come back, and I'm like, oh, there she is.
Hey, Jesus got hood one time in the Bible too when he was flipping those tables. His was righteous anger, mine is not most of the time. I like that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I like her face. Sometimes it's righteous anger.
Just like me, we try to spin it sometimes. Like, it's not that bad.
That's true. She's been calling me out on that, and I need it because I'm like, maybe, and she's like, full. Let me just tell you. Hold on.
Yeah, I've been trying to think back to when you were like, girl, listen,
I
this is
did.
what is happening. I'm like, I think she would appreciate it if I do it. I should probably start like saying
It's
something.
true. We do. Because if you're my friend, you're going to tell me if I have broccoli in my teeth. It's the same thing if you're going through an emotional trauma, right?
Right.
You'd be like, let me just tell you, okay, I love you, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we love each other.
Yeah. Like, well, I just need you to know, like, this is, I think you're trying to be too nice about the situation.
Stab somebody with a fork. Stab him. Stab him.
Yeah, like, you need to go a little bit harder on that. Like,
Why are
get
you being so
mad.
soft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your anger is righteous.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to be told that, though, right? Your anger is righteous. You've got a good reason to be angry, and this isn't like you're not like being dramatic or something.
Yeah, because I don't know how many times I'm like, well, it's not that bad. It's not, he just sometimes, or this just sometimes, and you're like,
I was over here
no.
with like guys like this, like, what in the world? You love man? Yeah. But that's love language. We learn how to love on our friends. We learn how to love on our partners. We learn what we receive. If we're paying attention and listening, we learn to get uncomfortable and paint the daggum bathroom, okay?
Yeah.
Just do it. Listen to what your person is saying and be willing to be uncomfortable. Because if for the rest of your life you're unwilling to be uncomfortable, you're unwilling to listen to somebody else's love language, and you're only willing to do it your way, you will lose. And I'm assuming you want to choose to love this person every day. You do love them, so be uncomfortable for them. Yeah. I feel like this went by really, really fast, but we're already ready to end, guys. And maybe I'll brush my hair for next week.
Yeah, maybe I'll put my hair up. But
y'all wouldn't know what to do if I look presentable. You'd be like, who's that with Brandy this week?
Girl. You've dressed up one time or twice, maybe.
Oh, shoot.
Maybe but you do. I mean, I don't know. I'm used to seeing you like this.
Like this.
And then I forget you have like super long hair.
Or like I could be a girl. Oh! I used to dress up all the time for family events. And when I met my husband, I dressed like a dude. And so then when I started dressing girly, like when we would go to family events, I would dress like a girl. The only time we ever saw my family was at family events, like twice a year, Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? They'd be like, you're always so girly. And then we feel bad because we're over here in a hoodie. And I was like, this is like 2 times a year I dress up.
Right.
Like, you keep seeing me in the same outfit 5 years in a row. Like, seriously, literally, I wore the same outfit every year.
Yeah, it's like you want to. You don't catch on. Event. You don't see me every day, so I want to look all nice. But otherwise, yeah.
But they didn't realize. They said you're just so girly with the same outfit 5 years in a row. You know why, right? I think this was supposed to be a shirt. I got tights under it trying to make it a dress.
Right. Well, I mean, no one remembers what anyone wore a year ago, unless it was like
I was in pictures.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, it is what it is. Pajama pants, t-shirts, but it does say Veteran Trash Talk.
Oh yeah. Well, that didn't work out for me. But you know, this shirt is so soft.
Right, it is. This is my jammy shirt.
It feels so good.
Okay, it's my. Oh, I got something on my shoulder. I don't know what that is. I'll probably be wearing it out tomorrow when I go meet the builders, though, because I really am that type of girl. Hold on. I wish I was more put together and I could really be like, this isn't what you get. This is just a persona for VTT and for our Seizing Crazy page. But I've already had people that know me in real life contact me and go, I really love that you're so real in you.
Yeah. Yeah, those who know you, they know.
They know. Wish I was playing, but I'm not. Anyway, apologize. Send your condolences to Sergeant G. I'm sorry. Anyway, you guys have a blessed week. Thank you for hanging out with us. Be sure to catch us on Wednesdays, our YouTube channel, Seizing Crazy, VRS, 8 p.m. Central Time on Tuesdays, and of course, right here on BTT on Fridays. Bye.
Bye.
I still have no lip.
You have a lip?
Yes, one lip.
No,
I should have lip. No, you said it right the first time. I should have lip. You were right. I have a lip.
Yeah.
And this pimple that I've named Bertha. You don't want to see my hair. I didn't even brush my hair in like a week.
For long hair, this is the longest, I think.
Yeah, but how long have you been? When was the last time you cut your hair?
Well, I've been giving myself hair trims.
Okay, yeah, that don't even count. This is not all your life.